VC Crazy Jimmy here with another vinyl find video, and at the suggestion of a few watchers, a few supporters, they suggested that I try showing multiple. So as I said before, I'm going to try to go away from the Acid Archive submissions. I think I've done 25 of them. and I'm at the point now where I'd like to get into more, other subjects. So, but before we do that, definitely had some really good finds. And before I jump into those, tomorrow, Sunday, a really exciting record show here in New Hampshire. We haven't had one in New Hampshire in years. When I say years, like many years. I think the last one was like 6 or 7 years ago. So I really look forward to not having to drive, an hour or two to get to a record show. So super excited for that tomorrow. I'm going to try to videotape some things tomorrow so I can share with you not only what it looked like, but what I ended up getting. But without further ado, let's jump into some vinyl finds, some real exciting ones at that. So the track that led off this video is just this is one of the most exciting vinyl finds I've had in quite some time, meaning I didn't really know the band, and when I got to hear the album, I just was blown away. I'm like, where did this band come from? And they are the Troll, and this is their full-length first album. I think they only had one full-length, but prior to the Troll, they were the Trolls with an S at the end. They dropped the S for their first full-length album, and they were the Trolls prior to this, but they were only releasing singles, and some really good ones at that are super hard to find. But this is just a masterpiece, a psych masterpiece. There is a little bit of everything on here. There is pop psych on here. There is heavy psych on here. There is spaced out, whacked out psych on here. There's a little bit of everything on here. And look at that album cover. I just love how they mix the animation with the band. And, what is that? Like a mausoleum or something. Looks like they're in a graveyard. But just absolutely love this album cover as well. The Troll Animated Music is the name of the album. I just can't get enough of this album. I don't know what you thought of that track that let off, but there's more of that on here. And I want to say this was released in 69 or 68. But definitely late 60s. Definitely got a Beatlesque vibe to it, but a little more whacked out than the Beatles ever were. So just you gotta take my word for it. Just so good. And it's on the Smash label, which I'm going to show you here. The Troll Animated Music. Really, if you're a psych fan of any kind, you owe it to yourself to get this. And boy, does the original press sound phenomenal. I think it's been repressed. I'm not 100% sure. Regardless, I collect originals. I don't collect represses. And I can guarantee you this is from the master tapes, all analog. Whereas if you picked up a repress of this, and again, I don't even know if it's been repressed. I think it has. But if you pick up a repress of this, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a digital step in there too, or more. So don't do that. Spend a few extra bucks. It's not that expensive. Actually, you can get this one now for not a ton. It's not going to break the bank. Depending on condition, anywhere from 60 to 100. Really depends on the condition. But I see this one going up, 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 up. So the Troll Animated Music on Smash Records. All right. Next up, can never have too many of these, but this is Andy Irvine and Paul Brady, 1976, on Mulligan Records. This is an Irish record, an Irish duo. This was recommended. I forgot what artist. There's the Mulligan label. Just phenomenal. If you like side 3 of Led Zeppelin, side 2 of Led Zeppelin 3, a lot of that vibe on this album, but obviously it's a little more Irish. But you cannot. This is just highly, highly recommended. And I think Robert Plant and Alison Krauss recommended this as well and stated that it's they feel it's the greatest album ever released. So Andy Irvine and Paul Brady on the Mulligan label, 1976. This is an original. Really hard to find this in good condition because the sleeve is super thin and fragile. But I was lucky, managed to find a pretty decent copy of it. Trust me on this. This album's had me in tears before, so it's just so good. The musicianship is amazing. The vocals are fantastic. This is not a bagpipe album. Yeah, there's some bagpipes here and there, but it just reminds me of Zeppelin 3 Side 2 with, but a little more Irish, but it's so good. It's hard to explain, but also these Mulligan pressings are highly, highly, highly recommended. So they sound phenomenal. Really great soundstage. Next find is I was super excited to grab another one of these. This is my second one, and the only reason why I picked it up is it's because it's sealed, and it's a sealed original, and these are getting really hard to find. And boy, do these originals sound phenomenal too. I can't recommend these enough. So if you see this out in the wild, grab it. If not, grab one online before it's too late, because these, are going to go up. It's on the Paramount Records label. The sound stage on these is just phenomenal, and of course, it's a classic soundtrack. Highly recommended. Next up, I think I might have showed this. I don't know. I got this a few weeks back, but this is Phluph, a Boston band. They call it the Boss Sounds, or that thing that was going on in the late 60s. But this is definitely a psych / garage classic on the Verve label. And definitely can't recommend this enough as well. If you like Ultimate Spinach and bands of that ilk, you will definitely dig these sounds coming from Phluph. And sorry for the glare. The cover, I love the cover art. The cover art's just phenomenal. So I know most of you have probably seen this one. This one's in the shrink, which is super nice. And can be had for a relatively decent price. I think you can pick these up for, between $30 and $75, depending on condition. All right. Next up is, I think I showed that one. Sorry. This one I have not shown. This is one you've all seen, the Stooges Funhouse, but this one's a little different. This is not the original pressing, which I do have. This is not on the Butterfly label. It's on this 1983 two-tone. This is an 82 or 83 pressing. The reason I'm showing you this is, number one, I just picked it up, and number two, it actually sounds better. I hate to say this, it sounds better than the original pressing. The soundstage on this is better. Yeah, it comes in a single sleeve, which is unfortunate. But if you love this album like I do, and you want the absolute best analog sound out of it, these 83 pressings are just fantastic. Something the original is missing are those highs, and this has the highs along with the mids and the lows. And this is such a raw album to begin with, so you want to make sure you have a pressing that has every bit of color in it. So, and this certainly does. Highly, highly recommend this pressing. Next up is another one you've probably seen before, but I want to tell you this is a different version of it. This is what I consider the master, the one you want, the piece de resistance of Metallica's, probably what I consider their best album, Master of Puppets. This is the club pressing, and you're probably wondering, what? Club pressing? Those suck. Not all club pressings suck. This is a Columbia house, and it was done with different metal, as they often did. Back in the day, they would often produce their own metal. I'm trying to show you the Columbia house. This is in the shrink, really nice. But how it worked is they typically would not use the same metal parts as the retail version. They would do their own. I guess it saves money. They would even have different mastering engineers. Well, this particular Columbia house with the SL and the dead wax, unbelievable. Just take my word for it. This is a highly, highly sought after pressing of this album. So this is the original 1986 Columbia house with the SL and the dead wax. If you don't want to take my word for it, do some research on it. Go on Discogs, look at the reviews. It's overwhelming. This being the one to get over the original DMM Direct Metal Master. This is the one here with the SL and the dead wax. So do not hesitate to pick one of these Columbia houses up of that particular album. Not all Columbia houses are great, but that one there is an exception. Cheers, little iced coffee. All right. Next up, here's another one you've all seen, but you probably haven't seen this pressing of it. This is the highly sought after, super duper rare in the United States UK pressing. And, you know, if you're a lover of Muswell Hillbillies like I am, you will want a UK pressing of this. The US pressing, they tend to sound veiled, like there's like a curtain or a towel over the speakers. Not so much with this. This is far more open than the US pressing. Now, I've heard some decent stamped US pressings of this, but I have 2 UK pressings of it, and make no mistake, the UK is the original UK is the definitive pressing to own of Muswell Hillbillies. It's just so hard to find, especially in the United States. They didn't press many of them. The album was a flop when it came out, and it just didn't get the pressing quantity that their prior albums did. It's also the last one on the RCA imprint, I believe. Or is it the first one? It's the first one in the RCA imprint. I'm sorry. But after this album, RL Ludwig started cutting the Kinks albums after this one in the United States. So this one did not get an RL cut at all. So if you want to have a definitive pressing of this first UK pressing is what I recommend over anything else I've heard. Now, I haven't heard everything. I haven't heard every modern repress of this. I haven't heard the multitude of represses. So, but the ones I have heard, this is the one here that I like the best, and it's also the most collectible. So, try to seek one of those out. And I may be putting. I have 2 UKs, so I may be putting one up on Discogs. So, if you're interested in one, reach out to me as well, and maybe we can work something out. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to do that or not, but they're both near mint vinyl, so really nice. They look super clean under bright light, so really nice, high quality. All right, next up is one I've been after for quite some time. This is Gal Costa's second album, not first. Discogs got it backwards. They show this one as as her true first. There's one before it, but it's like with other artists. This is 1969's Gal by Gal Costa. This is her second album, not her first solo album. And what makes this one so desirable is this is the Psych album right here. This is Tropicalia and Psych, but mostly Psych, and it's crazy, deranged Psych with a lot of funk elements. And just check out that cover. It's just fantastic on the Philips label. This is a first mono Brazilian press. And my buddy there, Vinyl Piper, also, I believe, picked up a nice clean copy of this and is happy with it. So I'm sure he can chime in on that. But I find this to be a great pressing. Soundstage is great. The bottom end's great. Really pops. The guitar work pops. But this is like, if you like Os Mutantis, their first, their 68 and 69 albums, and A Divine Comedy, you will absolutely love this from Gal Costa. It's very much similar, just whacked out Psych from Gal. All right, next up, this is the Lost and Found. What a crazy cover. This is on International Artists. I'm not even going to take it out. I mean, you've seen the International Artist label before. This actually is really cool. It's a late 60s pop psych or pop album with rock elements. There's not a ton of psych here, but if you like the 13th Floor Elevator, of course you're going to love this. There's even a cover of a 13th Floor Elevator song on this. And I believe Tommy Hall's Jug is even on this. So, is it Tommy Hall? I think so. But they covered Don't Fall Down, which was written by Rocky Erickson and Tommy Hall. But there's actually the Jug on this too. So I was listening to it going, damn, this sounds like 13th Floor Elevators. And it sure does. So Lost and Found, I think this was 1969. And on the International Artist label. And there's the front and the back. I absolutely love the artwork on this, by the way. But yeah, if you're a 13th Floor fan, do yourself a favor and pick one of these up. They can be had for anywhere from $50 to $125, depending on condition. You know, a sealed near mint one will run you about $100 to $125. But if you want to pick up a VG copy, you know, $60 and you're off and rolling, highly recommend that. Next up, one I don't think I've shown before. This is not a recent pickup, but I wanted to show it because I don't think I have. But this I picked up from our local record store here in New Hampshire, up in Laconia. So I want to thank them for holding this for me. But this is Red Hash. And this is, who's this guy? Gary Higgins. There we go. I forgot his name. Gary Higgins. He's from New England. I think Connecticut to be exact. And I want to say he wrote most of this, like before he went to jail for drugs or pot, which blows my mind. But the back of the cover there is really cool. This is an original pressing on, New Fuse Moon Records. Really not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but definitely a privately pressed masterpiece of psych folk, acid folk, freak folk, whatever you want to call it. But highly recommended. If you're a Nick Drake fan, if you love Pink Moon by Nick Drake, you will love Gary Higgins' Red Hash. That's the best way I can describe it. This is a little more out there than Pink Moon, but it's definitely, highly recommended. I think Dom showed this as well, so at one point. So there you have it. This is an original pressing here. These will run you a little bit, but, can't recommend it enough to seek one out. Really nice sound quality, too. Sounds like he's in your living room playing, so that's how three-dimensional this pressing is. All right, a few more. Oh boy, this is such a psych masterpiece. Never released, we know that. This is Smile by the Beach Boys. But this is the legendary Vigatone from 1993. This is, the Brothers / Vigatone pressing on some beautiful, beautiful wax. I just want to show you the wax here. These bootlegs are super hard to come by now. Of course, this was released officially, but these, you can't get these versions everywhere. There's different versions on here. Look at that beautiful pink marble. And these labels are not really blank. They're just the Brothers labels flipped backwards, I guess, because you can see right through them, and you can see some ink on the other side. But this is pressed on 3 beautiful like pastel Easter colored vinyl. Here's a beautiful purple, like a darker purple. That's not too pastel, I guess, but I love these colors. These are some of my favorite colors. So love this blue, like a mix of like gray blue and periwinkle. Just phenomenal. And this is the boot. If you're going to get a bootleg, it's the 1993 Brothers Records / Vigatone is the one you want. The one with Beach Boys Session Party on it, and George fell into his French horn, dead giveaway. But highly recommend these 93 boots. Of course, the Smile Sessions that was officially released is great too. But this is definitely a classic, and it's different. So you got different takes here, and this comes with a poster as well, and it comes with a 7-page session sheet. So super nice to have. All right, I got 2 more. This one, oh my God, the Flaming Groovies. This is Teenage Head by the Flaming Groovies on this beautiful Kama Sutra label. I've always loved these Kama Sutra labels with the crabs. Right there. An original pressing, 1971, I believe this was put out. And this was before Sticky Fingers. And the reason I'm saying that is Mick Jagger has gone on record to say this is better than Sticky Fingers. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because this album will remind you of Sticky Fingers. I mean, right down to the country ballad, Wild Horses. There's a track on here that's very similar, but this has a little bit more of a punk edge. But this is like phenomenal, and really will remind you of Sticky Fingers in every way. I agree with Mick Jagger. This is better than Sticky Fingers. I know you're probably like jaws are dropping going, you're full of shit. But my opinion is this is better than Sticky Fingers. Mick Jagger even said it's better than Sticky Fingers. So, listen to it. Flaming Groovies, Teenage Head. As you all probably know, the Flaming Groovies in 1976, Roy Loney left the band, and they kind of turned into a classic power pop band with their release Shake Some Action, which is like in the top 10 best power pop albums of all time. But this is not power pop. This is bluesy. This is rock. This is some psych, some country rock, all thrown in there. Like I said, Sticky Fingers, but with a punk edge. So Flaming Groovies, Teenage Head. Do not hesitate to pick this up. They're actually pretty. The prices are pretty good on them still. So, but take a listen. If you don't believe me, listen to it all the way through. Amazing album. All right, I'm going to finish up with Fun and Games, Elephant Candy. Really phenomenal pop psych album. And there's the cover. Love the cover on this, like with the elephants on top of each other. There's your back. This is on the Uni label. But this is pop psych all the way through with really good commercial vocals. Love the vocals. Love the musicianship. This, I don't understand how this album didn't take off, especially at the time it was released, which was, I think this is 1969. So how this didn't take off is beyond me. Don't know. I guess I don't care. These can be had for, $20 for a really nice pressing. Do yourself a favor and pick one up. Sound quality's great on it. Every single track, there's not a single bad track on this. And there's the front there. Not a single bad track on here. And, you will thank me for it later. So that's Elephant Candy by the Fun and Games, who shortened their name. I think they were called Fun and Games Consort or something before this. So anyways, hey, thanks for watching Vinyl Finds. I really appreciate you all. If you like what you're hearing and seeing and watching, please hit subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. Please comment. Always love to hear your comments and feedback as well. Of Crazy Jimmy out. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully after the record show, and show you some more stuff and maybe some video from the show if they let me take some video. So take care, everyone. Have a good weekend.